Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time of day it is and whatever part of the world that you're watching this, welcome back to the Old Southern Pine. I get asked a lot of questions about truck tent camping from those that are just starting out or wanting to try it out for the first time. So today I figured that I would go through and give you guys a tutorial of setting up a truck tent, how and where to place your truck, and some of the things that you need to know to help you get started. The first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that your truck is as level as you can possibly get it. Pretty good from this side, and not bad from here either. I can live with 2 degrees. Now, for whatever reason your truck is not level, or that 2 degrees decline bothers you, there are multiple different things that you can do to level out your truck. The first, and possibly simplest, is to just move your truck to a more level surface. If that's not really possible, you can find blocks to be able to put underneath your tires and drive up on them. You can purchase riser blocks to be able to drive up on, or simply use boards like what I'm doing here. I'm sure there's some kind of scientific method to figuring out what height level you need to be able to get level. For me, usually I just eyeball it. The second thing is that you're going to want to clear the bed of your truck. Personally, I think that it helps to have all of your gear into totes so that you can keep everything organized, easy within reach, and easy to clean up. Now, once you've got the bed of your truck completely cleaned out and your back seat organized with all of your gear so that you can easily get to it, you start setting up your tent. Now, I've got the Pittman Outdoors Easy Up truck tent. Concept is the same for all truck tents. I'm using this one because it's my favorite, not because they're paying me to say that. Anybody that's watched this channel before knows that I've got a lot of truck tents. This one is by far my favorite. It genuinely does what the name says. It goes up easily. There's only a handful of poles that you got to put together, and it works really well. But like I said, the concept is the same for all truck tents, whether you get this one or a different one. I like to start with getting the truck tent poles out and put together. You get all of your poles put together. Now you want to go through and you want to check each pole section to make sure that there are no cracks, breaking areas, or weak spots. Once you get your poles put together, set them aside somewhere easy to find. Most truck tents at this point require quite a few cross poles to be able to get the frame put together and create that dome effect that we associate with tents. The Pittman Outdoor tent has a pop-up hub-style frame that you simply extend the hub and it pops the tent frame into place. Now, most tent manufacturers do a pretty good job of color coordinating or numbering their poles to the sleeves that they're supposed to go in. You can see right here that the gray cuff on the sleeve of the tent goes with the gray pole, the red pole goes with the red cuff, and the blue pole goes with the blue cuff. The black pole goes inside the tent, and it works kind of as a center pole or a ridge line. Now, this main front arch pocket always requires a certain amount of fiddling to find it. It's usually tucked underneath the main flap, a little further back than what you expect. Once you have your main arch poles firmly placed into their base pockets, go back and level out your main arch through the pole sleeves, taking time to make sure that you connect the tent clips to the arch poles. This gives a lot of extra stability and helps keep everything in place. From here, take your time going ahead and matching up the poles with their different colored sleeves and putting them into place. For the most part, it's pretty simple to figure out where the poles go and how they connect to the tent. But if something doesn't seem obvious, check the instructions to see if there's something specific about your style of tent with the pole placements. Just take your time, think through it, and in no time you'll have it together. Now, due to the lighting, it's a little hard to see, but the ridge line and pole pockets on this tent are black. You simply slide the pole into the pole pockets on either end, and then there are Velcro straps that go along the inside of the top of the tent fabric that hold the ridge line securely in place. The trickiest part that I find with the rainfly is trying to figure out which is the front and which is the back. On this tent right here, the back of the tent the back of the tent has a zipper opening to it. Now you got to be careful because the sides have zipper openings as well, but this one just zips right up the front. So once you have that found, I like to take it, stretch it out front to back, and then bunch the sides up. This will allow you to be able to throw it over the top and hold on to one side. Especially helpful if you're doing this by yourself. You'll know that you've done it right if you get up to the front and there's a long strap with a buckle at the end. Go ahead and hook that side up. Now if you go to the top of the front arch and pull the rainfly back, you'll find a Velcro strap that should line up with the brake and the tent pole sleeve. And that allows you to Velcro the rainfly directly to the tent pole frame. As you work your way around, you will find multiple of these Velcro loop straps, and just work your way around doing that same thing. Once you've got your rainfly Velcroed and buckled in, you're ready to go ahead and put your tent into the back of your truck. Now, doing this with two people is a lot easier, but you can still easily do it with one person. Just lift it up, and as soon as you can get one corner into the back of the truck, then you can start working the other sides in. Once you have your tent roughly in place, you take the truck straps, go ahead and hook those underneath there, cinching it down in the back just a little bit. Proceed around the truck, attaching them in and tightening them as necessary. I like the Pittman Outdoors has these little sleeves that go over the buckles so that it's not going to scratch your truck up. Now Pittman has these elastic straps that go over the back of your tailgate and hold that in place, and then more of those truck straps that go underneath and hook to your bumper. One here in the center, and then another elastic strap over the side of your tailgate and back under the bumper. One thing I do like about this tent though, that the Rainfly has an air gap around it so that it's not pressed right up against the side of your actual tent inner like a lot of truck tents are. So it allows a lot more airflow to get underneath there. Now you may have noticed that I left the tent bag sitting right behind the tailgate in the bed of the truck. Now I did that for a reason. I know that as soon as I start tearing things down, that bag is where everything is going to get crammed into. Whether that's raining and this tent is soaked or not, I'm just going to cram it all down into there, deal with it when I get home. There's no point in nicely packing up a tent that you're going to have to roll out again once you get home just to be able to dry it out. Now it is very important that if your tent gets wet, even a thick morning dew, that when you get home, you bring it back out of that bag, you set it up, and you let it air dry. Otherwise, the next time you go to use that tent, you're going to pull it out, it's going to be moldy, it's going to be nasty. Not anything that anybody's going to have a good time staying in. Now that's the tent setup. Simple as that. Your first time, don't get frustrated. It will take you a little bit longer just to be able to figure out where everything goes, how it all connects. Now technically your tent is already set up. You could sleep in it just like this with a pillow and a sleeping bag. You could throw a cot in here, or there are many different truck air mattresses out on the market. I'm using a Pittman original AirBedz because it fits perfectly to the tent and it has nice little overs. You're covering the wheel well with an air pad as well. Very, very nice. Battery in here, already charged up, ready to go. You've got your inflate and your deflate. Got my pillow with my Manta Sleep silk pillowcase. And a lightweight sleeping bag. That's it. You're all set up and ready to go camping. Now, a lot of people will truck tent camp because they feel it's a little bit safer. There is a sense of security that you can get from camping in or on your vehicle instead of, in a hammock where you're basically a burrito for any bear that walks by, or a tent out in the middle of the woods that's just a nylon shelter. You're up off of the ground. So if you're in an area where there's snakes or anything like that, you're not really exposed to that kind of thing. You're up and away if you're camping with a small pet, like I usually am if coyotes come through. And if you need to, you can get into your vehicle, whether it's an emergency that you need to leave, or whether you just need to get a midnight snack that you left in the back seat of the truck. I've been camping all my life. One of my earliest childhood memories was my meemawmy taking me truck camping on the outside of their property down by a creek. It was absolutely wonderful. We didn't have a tent. We literally just slept in the bed of the truck, staring up, facing at the stars. And it's still, I was 4 or 5, and it's still one of my favorite childhood memories. If you're just getting into camping for the first time, maybe you're afraid to go camping by yourself, this is a great way to start. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please remember to like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you think. And until we meet again under the old Southern Pine, stay safe. God bless.